Okay, this is Mr. Gilm, and today we're going to be using metric conversions. And metric conversions are special because they always increase or decrease by factors of 10. And so we talked a little bit about how multiplying something by 10 moves the decimal, like 3 times 10 would move the decimal place one spot, that would be 30. Or 0.324 times 100 would move the decimal place 2 spots, so it would be 32.4. Okay, and so as we multiply, get bigger or smaller, we're not really adding zeros on all the time, but what we are doing is removing the decimal place. 10 tens makes 100, 10 100s makes 1,000, 10 1000s makes 10,000, and it goes backwards too. 100 divided by 10 is 10. 100 divided by 10, 10 divided by 10 will be 1, and so on. And so the metric system is used in a lot of different countries besides the United States, and it makes it very easy for them to convert between measurements. And so they start with a base unit. Okay, we're going to call it the base unit. And that would be like a meter or a gram or a liter, depending on what you're talking about. A meter would be like a distance, a gram would be a weight, a liter would be a volume, and we use these prefixes to determine how many liters, or a different type of measurement. And so if we were talking about meters, there would be kilometers, hectometers, decameters, meters, decimeters, centimeters, and the millimeters. Okay, and so depending on the prefix in front of the meter, that tells us how big or small the meter is. All right, and it all changes from a factor of 10 from one place to the other. So if there's not a decimal, a few things to keep in mind. If we don't have a decimal in our number, like 13, number 13, there is a decimal place, but we don't write it. It's just at the very end. Okay. And 1.3, there's a decimal place there. It sticks out and it's obvious. But if there's just a number like 45, the decimal place will be right there at the end. And that's where we're going to start moving it from. We're only going to write significant digits. So when I talk about a number like 48, I don't have a 0 in front. I don't write the 0 in front of 48 because I already know there is 0 100s in 48. But if I'm talking about the number 48 and I put a 0 behind it, it now becomes 480. All of the numbers get moved over one decimal place, and so the ones becomes tens, the tens becomes hundreds, and now 480 is a different number than 48. So significant zeros are zeros that hold place values. Okay, 48.05 is different than 48.5. The 0 represents there are 0 tenths. And there are 5 hundredths. If we don't use a 0, it's saying that we have 5 tenths, which isn't the case. These are not equivalent. So we are going to write just significant zeros today on our paper. And the nice thing again about the metric units are that they all change by a factor of 10. And so it's not really a lot of calculation to do, but just an understanding of how many places to move the decimal forward or backwards. All right, now you have a chart on your paper there, and this is the metric conversion chart. And so, like I said before, the basic unit is just the meter or gram or liter, okay? That's the second part of the word. And then they get smaller to the right and bigger to the left. And as you can see, I like explaining it from this side first. 10 of the base units make 1 deca-unit, and 10 of the deca-units make 1 of the hecto-unit, and 10 of the hecto-units make 1,000 of, or 1 of the kilo-unit. So each time we move to the left, we're getting, so I should say it this way instead. I should say in relationship to meters. We'll call that the base meter. Okay, 1 meter is the same as 10 decimeters, which is the same as 100 centimeters, abbreviate centimeters, cm, which is the same as 1,000 millimeters. Okay, and then same way around, but 1 meter is only worth 1/10 of a decameter, and 1/100th of a hectometer and 1,000th of a kilometer. Okay, and so the prefix is what really determines that. So it's all based, it's kind of confusing the way they put it, but I like to think of it this way as well. So 1 meter is worth 10 of these, or 100 of these, or 1,000 of these, or 1/10 of that, 100th of that, 1,000th of that. So you can think of your chart either way. You can think of 1,000 millimeters makes a centimeter, or sorry, 10 millimeters makes a centimeter, 10 centimeters makes a decimeter, 10 decimeters makes a meter, 10 meters makes a deca, 10 decas make a hecto, 10 hectos make a kilo. And so it's just a matter of moving the decimal place. And so let's take a look here at some conversions. And in this case, it says we have 7 kilograms, and we would like to know how many decagrams that is. If you look at the chart here, it says when you're converting to a larger unit, move the decimal place to the left or divide, making it smaller. To convert to a smaller unit, move the decimal place to the right or multiply. Now in our first example, and I'm going to use green ink for this one, we have kilograms and decagrams. So we're starting with kilograms, and we're going down to decagrams. Okay, so as you can see, we're going from a bigger unit, a larger unit, to a smaller unit. Okay? Oh, no, sorry. We are moving we are converting to a smaller unit. We have a big unit and we're converting to a smaller unit. So we're going to move the decimal place to the right in this case. And that is exactly 2 decimal places to the right. So if I'm starting with 7, and I know the decimal place is here, I need to move it 2 places to the right. And for zeros, I need placeholders, so that would be 700 decagrams. Okay, let's do another one, because I feel like I kind of butchered that one a little bit. Let's do blue ink for this one, centimeters and meters. Okay, so I'm going to compare centimeters to meters. So I'm starting at centimeters, and I'm moving to meters, which is one of the base units. There's no prefix in front of it. You can see I'm moving 2 places, and I'm getting bigger. I'm moving to a larger unit, so I'm going to move the decimal place to the left. So I'm going to start with 500 centimeters, and I don't see a decimal place, so I know it's right there, and I'm going to move it 2 places to the left, 5.00 meters. But I wouldn't write the zeros because they represent 0/10ths and 0/100ths, so 5 meters would be the appropriate thing to write down. Let's take a look at the next one here. I'll do that one in just black ink. We're going to hectoliters to kiloliters. And so I'm really just looking at this prefix here at the front, hecto to kilo. And so I have hecto, and I'm moving 1 over to kilo. 1 over to the left. I'm converting to a larger unit, getting larger. So I'm going to move the decimal place to the left. And so if I'm starting with 2 and my decimal place is at the end, I'm going to move it 1 to the left. 0.2, or 2/10ths of a kiloliter will be the same. Let's go back to the red ink again and take a look at this one. It's a little more tricky. This one's millimeters to decimeters. Milli to deci. Okay, and so let's take a look here. Milli is way down at the bottom, and deci is 2 spots in front of it, okay, or 2 spots bigger, 1, 2. And so again, 10 millimeters would make a centimeter, and 10 centimeters makes a decimeter, so 100 millimeters would make a decimeter, and I'm moving to a larger unit. I'm getting bigger up the scale. So I'm going to say if I'm starting with 34.65 and I'm moving to the left, right there, now my decimal place is in the front. 0.3465, or 3,465 10,000ths. All right, so there you have it. That's how the metric chart works. Let's just do one more for good measure here, or 2 more for good measure, and we're going to go from grams without a prefix. See, there's no prefix, no kilo, hecto, deca, anything like that, to kilograms. So let's take a look here. So we're going to go from the base unit right in the middle to the kilo unit, way at the top. So we're getting bigger. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3 decimal places to the left. So if I start with 2.9454 and I'm moving 3 places to the left, there's my decimal place for each spot that I move, though. These are significant digits. This is saying that I have 0 tenths and 0 hundredths, and now I have 2 thousandths, as well as the 9, 4, 5, and 4. So my answer for this one would be 0.002954. This many kilograms is the same as 2.9454 grams. Okay, they're equivalent. It's the same amount, but they're written in different units. So that's it for today. Hopefully you remember how to use this metric chart, or that review was good for you. Basically, whichever direction you're moving on the chart is the direction that you're going to move the decimal place. Just keep in mind that 10 millimeters or milliliters or milligrams or whatever it is we're talking about, 10 of these make one of these. 10 of these centimeters make 1 decimeter. 10 decimeters make 1 meter. And it's all a factor of 10, and that's why we can just move the decimal point. So that's it for today.